Hello everybody, this is Jeff with J&M Farms. This is part 3 of our lithium battery upgrade install on our 2019 Yamaha Drive 2 golf cart. As I said in a previous video, when we started looking at this to try to determine what we would run into with the installation, we could not find a video. So you're going to come along with us and see what we run into and see what it takes to install this battery on it. Well, again, we have a Veeder 105 amp hour lithium battery. This is the heated module or model. I don't know why I keep saying module, but I do. This is the heated model version, and so we are going to start today. Well, first things first, we're going to take out all these lead acid batteries. We're going to take them out. You can use a socket, ratchet, whatever works for you. You're going to need a 9/16 and a 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch is going to take out your battery hold downs, and the 9/16 is going to take off your battery connections. If you were going to take them out and replace them, obviously you would want to remember orientation. We don't plan on reusing these batteries for any reason that is related to this golf cart, but we do plan on, if we are going to maintenance them, service them, recharge them, and if they're adequate enough, we plan on making them or using them for a solar powered system that we want to use for lights in our barn. So the very first and most important thing you need to do, if you look right underneath here before you do any electrical work on your cart, you want to switch this from the run. There's a toggle switch right here. You want to switch this from run to tow. Never want to tow your golf cart without that being in tow mode, but this will also disconnect it so you can begin to work on the power system. So the first things first that we need to do is remove all of this and gain access and see what we are up against. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by disconnecting these battery leads one at a time. We can start here with the main power. This is coming in from the motor. Very carefully, just kind of loosen those up and disconnect those. If you see a minor spark while disconnecting, that can be normal, so don't alarm you, but just as long as you got it turned to the tow position, you will be fine. We're going to disconnect these. These are accessory leads for our voltage reducer. We're going to set those off to the side. We also have some other factory leads here that we're going to need to take off that are in here. We're going to pop this out. Just here, and we will probably time-lapse portions of this video so it doesn't drag on, but we'll begin to pop out this harness here. These are battery vents to vent the battery. We're going to set this off to the side. Again, we won't be using this for this video. Slowly start to pull these out. These are other battery leads. You do want to remember where you take these leads off because you will need them again. This is a battery positive. We will be reusing this for accessories, as well as this battery lead. It's negative. Okay, so we have disconnected the motor completely. Push those down and out of the way so we're safe. Undo the other negative lead that we have here, and we'll begin removing the cables. It's always a good idea when you take off your battery connections and you've disconnected the wiring, reattach these, because you will lose them and you'll have to go search and find more. Get them on there. And we're just going to slowly get the right socket on there. We're going to go through this quickly now. Kind of just repeats itself. That's like I said, you'll drop one and you'll have to find that later. we'll set them down for now. We'll set these leads off to the side because we will be using these leads if we do the solar power project, and you will see a video of that. Looks like we got all the leads connected. Pull back out of the way. Lost another one. So don't do what I'm doing. Alright, wow, you can see one of our hold downs wasn't even on there. We just purchased this about 6 months ago, so some of this is new for us as well, as far as what we're getting into. And the last person that installed these batteries did not take the time to install the hold downs correctly, so that's good to know. Go ahead and lift out these hold downs and set them to the side. So far, pretty straightforward. Nothing we didn't expect. Like we got all the hold downs disconnected, all the wires disconnected, nothing else seems to be in the way, so we'll be right back with you. We're going to pause for a minute while we lift these batteries out of here. You don't need to see us do that, but we'll be right back with you. All right, we're back with you. If you want to come in, we've gotten all the batteries out. We got a good idea of what we're looking at. It doesn't look like it's going to be terrible. We're going to walk you through the process of what we think we need to do. You go back over here just real quick. We weighed this off camera. One of these batteries weighs in right at about 65 pounds. We multiplied that by 6, and the Vader battery weighs in at about 100 pounds. That's going to save us about 290 pounds with this install. That's one of the biggest advantages to go into lithium, and we're definitely going to be looking forward to that because we are carrying 37 gallons of water on here at all times, most of the time, and five-gallon pails of feed. So that's definitely going to help us out in a long way. We're going to get around here to the other side, and actually, it looks like it's going to be a fairly straightforward install. We've done the measurements off camera, and it looks like the battery is going to fit right here with no problem. There's a raised lip that was a divider for the 6 batteries. We're just going to have to cut this out flush. This is just a hard plastic, so it should cut fairly easy. We're going to have to notch this corner out just a little bit, and the battery should fit right in there. We're probably going to do, there's a lot of corrugated plastic underneath. Don't know how easy it's going to be, but this is very, very thick plastic. So we think we're just going to go with a self-tapping screw to mount the battery down and not nut and bolt it to the back. We'll see how well that works for us. I just think lining up nuts and bolts and screws might be very difficult from the bottom. So we're going to do it that way, but it looks like all we got to do is cut this out, and then it's going to be straightforward, which makes me quite happy because I've looked at a lot of videos of different golf carts, and I've seen a lot of people have to do welding, metal fabrication, all kinds of other things to adapt these batteries to fit, and it looks like in this drive too that we lucked out. So we're thankful for that. And we got a fine saw here. This is just any construction fine saw with a flat blade on it. This is what we chose to use. You can grind it, you can use a grinder, a cutter, whatever works for you. But we are going to use this. We're going to turn this blade. I don't know which way is going to work the best. Don't mind the noise because these are noisy. We might do it this way. I don't know if this will work. You're going to hold the blade flat and we're going to cut this all the way back. And again, like I said, we're going to notch this out, and that should give us just enough room for our battery. So bear with us in the noise. Turn that saw back around. Try to get it.
What time did she say I need to have him picked up by?
All right, we're gonna turn that blade back, down. Do a slight cut down. Make sure you don't go through or go too far. It looks like that came out very easy. We got that fleshed out. I'm gonna flesh it out just a little bit more. Again, that's just any wood cutting fine saw blade, works just fine. That flushed out real nice. We're gonna take out these plastic leftover pieces. All we have left is to notch out this. We're not gonna notch it all the way, just enough that we think we'll have. So it's gonna be fussy. Ooh. All right. Reach down in here, get this plastic piece out, and we only took about 1 inch off of this inside one, leaving a little bump out to kind of maintain some structural integrity with this sidewall. And I think that will do just fine. Again, we got this pretty well flushed up. I may go over it just a little bit more. Just to clean it up a little bit more. Yeah, this plastic cuts real nice and real easy with this fine saw. I'm just going to work it back and forth. All right, yeah, I got that nice and flush. Take out some of these shavings. We'll clean that up later. I think we're at a point now where we can get the battery installed. I don't want you guys to see me huffing and puffing, so I'm going to stop the video there and I'll come back at it when we drop it in. All right, we'll be right back with you. Well, we got it lowered in, and it looks like with everything else we're going to have to make some adjustments. We won't be able to reach the mounting holes on the other side to secure the battery to the bottom of the plate. So we're going to continue to cut a little bit more of this section of these risers. In fact, you could take it all out if you wanted to. That's not going to cause a problem. And we might actually eventually do that anyway, because with this extra savings in room, we're hoping to install the charger, obviously, and hopefully have a little room for a small storage box or toolbox. So we may go ahead and cut more of this out and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that and get more of this out. Bear with me. And we're going to be able to slide it over a little bit further so we can gain access to those mounting holes. This off. All right, got more of that. It actually came out really flush, really nice. Small adjustment right here. Got that out. We'll reach in and slide that over and see if that's gained us enough room. Battery slides real easy once it's in there. All right. All right. Let's go back around. And we're going to actually take out, I want to show you this in the video. You'll come back around, have the camera lady come back around and look down in here, and you'll see those tabs aren't quite over far enough to be able to drill through. So we're going to cut just a little bit more off, slide it over maybe 2 more inches, and that should give us plenty of room, make it real easy to put the mounting bolts left and right, and we'll still have plenty of room for the charger and maybe just a little bit of room for a storage box. Let me get back around and finish cutting that. It's going to get tricky now. It's getting a little bit tight on this side. I could take the battery out and probably make it a whole lot easier on myself, but that battery is heavy, so we're going to try it this way. Turn my blade at 90 degrees. All right, so we're going to take out 2 more inches. Maybe just a little bit more. Try to do this sideways to straighten this blade out again. And we'll go straight down with it. And starting to lose our light. It is the fall. Getting darker quicker, so we may have to transition this inside. Well, if I could keep that blade straight. All right. All right. Take out that last piece. I think that's going to do it. Actually, a pretty simple install. Hopefully that'll help save you so you can get it all taken out at once. Go take a look back over there and see if we got enough room for our mounting screws. slide it just a little bit more. Oh, it looks like we're gonna have to take a little bit more out of that to flush that out. My wife says I'm OCD, so we want to try to make sure everything is perfect, and I think she's probably right, but I can't help it. I like everything to work and fit nice if I can. That don't always work out, but we do our best. Slide this over now. We got plenty of room to work now. Go back to the other side. Yeah, we got plenty of room to reach down in there. Use a drill and an extension to be able to drill through there. We are again going to try to use self-tapping screws. We don't have those with us today, so we can't show you that on this video. But we are going to use self-tapping lag bolts to go in there, and we'll give you a 6-month update on that to see if it held out fine or we needed to drill through and do through-hole bolts, but that's what we're going to try. So we got the battery installed, so what's next? I'm going to come around here. This is the AC adapter to charge the battery. The charger does come with a plug-in. You can simply run outside the cart and hook into any electrical cord. We didn't want to have to raise up our seat every time to charge it. We wanted to take it much like it is at the factory, where you can just reach around in the front and drill and just plug in from the front without having to lift up the seat. So what we're going to do, you can buy this at Beater when you're checking out with your battery. It is about a $40 upgrade. We're going to just do a simple hole saw in the back, go through, and this will give us a place to plug in anywhere we want to. We want to keep the charger inside the cart. That way, if we're ever down somewhere or away from the house, we can charge no matter where we're at. And so we are going to start with that. And to do this is very simple. The only negative thing I have to say about this was just a small thing. I've had many of these in the past for boats and so on and so forth. They work great, but they didn't include any screws. That would seem like it would have been a simple thing to do, just put a few screws in the bag. They did not do that. They didn't give you any kind of installation instructions on how big the hole needed to be to do it. Nothing like that. Basically just put this in a box with an extension cord and said, here you go. So that's one negative that I can see someone can run into. So we're going to start with that. I did determine it does need a 2-inch hole saw. So I'm going to get my hole saw if I could find it. It's right behind the camera lady here. Now, typically you need to be very careful going through fiberglass. Fiberglass likes to splinter very, very easily. And a lot of times you can actually go, we're going to come in through the back side, because if you come and look here, there's all kinds of things in the way, and you don't want to miss drill or miss hole, but there's a metal bracket, but there's plenty of room to do it. So I can see where I'm going through the back side. We're just going to go in a place right next to the factory connector. And a lot of times, if you go in a reverse direction, you can kind of mitigate some of that splintering. So very slowly drill the pilot hole. And you can see we already came through. So we've got it in a reverse. And you see in a reverse, you can still cut it. Gives you a nice clean hole. And so the camera lady did ask me if I needed a razor blade, and I told her no, we won't need a razor blade, but we'll try to get one. We're going to clean up this. Look, she's always there for me. Always helps. She's the best. We're going to just lightly clean up around this hole with a thin razor blade. And I'm sorry, this is not fiberglass, it is plastic, so definitely go in a reverse direction on that. That will help. It won't bite and kick on you. You know how sometimes it can go through and kick. You don't want it to do that. So we got us a nice clean hole right next to our headlight. We have this on a different video if you want to see that. But right next to the factory connector. Now we're going to simply slip our electrical cord through the hole, and it should fit perfectly. And as you can see, it fits right in. So we're going to center that straight. Let's make sure that our holes are lined up first. It does have a rubber plug to seal it from the atmosphere. I think we're going to have to figure out how this goes first. Well, it has rubber holes on the side, and that makes the plug, doesn't really make sense to me, but that makes the plug in sideways, but I didn't make it, so I don't think we can put it any other way. You would think it should be up or down, but it's not neither. And so, yeah, it has to be off to the side. All right, so we got it in place. Make sure your rubber gasket holes match your front. Again, slip the plug in through the hole. Be very, very careful when you're drilling these self-tapping screws. We're going to hold that in place. They will, this is just plastic. They will strip out easy. These are just some self-tapping screws that we had in our nut and bolt drawer. And but you can find these at Lowe's. They're approximately 3/4 of an inch long. They fit in any one of these drill bit adapters. And so we're going to center the plug in, so even though it's not up straight up and down, that we are straight up and down. And it'll plug in and seal that way. So we're going to level that just the best we can. I'm going to slip that in there. Level this from the back side very slowly. Let it drill in, and it'll start to pull in. And again, go very, very slow because it will strip out very quickly. You can even, once you get it through, or just hand screw them, whatever you like, if you're not comfortable using a drill gun on this. Just once it goes through, you can slow down the drill. All right, and it is installed. So we'll be able to come in with any electrical cord and plug in to charge. Now we're going to see, and we might, if you come back over here, we might have to, now we have to find fitment for the charger and where we plan on placing it. This is our wiring harness, for which we're going to tie up later and make nice and neat. You won't see that on this video, but this is our headlight wiring harness that we'll fix up. This here is our voltage regulator, voltage reducer. We may have to relocate that. You may not have to. In fact, we might go ahead and do that now, or see if that, let's see if the charger, how it fits where we might want it. Reaching down here, what might work best. Let's disconnect the cables. Don't need those on right now. This is the adapter that will wire to the battery. You can put that on the inside. It looks like we might be able to set it on the inside there, so we'll be just out of the way. We may not need to remotely mount that at all, so we will probably put that in there just like that. You can put it anywhere you like if you want to continue to cut this out, which we might end up, because we do want to have some storage if we can. But we will get these mounted, and we'll get back with you so you can see where we finished. We'll see you in just a few. Hello everybody, this is Jeff J&M Farms getting back with you with the lithium battery upgrade on our Yamaha Drive 2 golf cart. We did already shoot this video, so I'm learning the pain of being, I guess, a YouTuber. Cannot get it to transfer, so we're gonna finish this up, do an overview on what we ran into, and to show you the final steps and what you're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have her come on in here, and we're gonna show you. We did get everything installed. I'm gonna have her lean over. We did get the battery charger installed here. It fit very nicely. Again, we used self-tapping screws to do that. We got the battery installed here. We also used the same self-tapping screws to hold this in place. We've actually used this for about a week now, every day on the farm, bumpy terrain, going up and down hills, and the battery is still very, very secure, so I feel confident that's gonna hold up. Those were number 14 by 1 inch self-tapping screws that we just got at our Lowe's Home Improvement store. I'll leave a link to those in the description. I want to go over a few things that we did ran into. Again, we had to cut out just this little plastic piece riser here to make room for the battery. In an earlier portion of the video, I said that we wanted to slide it over closer to the wall. We did run into an issue with that. I'm going to have her come around over here. When we slid the battery all the way over here, we weren't able to gain access to the self-tapping screws, so we had to push it back a little bit. I would go, if you could see the indent here, I would pull the battery. If I was going to do this again, I would pull the battery back right to this edge here, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But again, it's safe and secure. The only other thing that we did run into, and that you will run into also, and I'm going to come around, is the battery cables. The battery cables came in this location for your factory batteries when all 6 batteries were installed. They came in right here. So regardless of orientation of this battery right here, your positive battery cable will not be long enough to reach around and attach to the positive post here on the battery. And again, it doesn't matter the orientation, you're going to find a problem with that. The negative lead off the controller, we were able to get enough length out of that to just reach around and grab that. Again, if I was going to do this again, I would slide it over just a couple more inches, giving a little bit more relief to this negative battery cable. We do have enough now, but for you, if you were going to do it, I would slide it over right to the edge of that molding, and that would give you plenty of relief for that. Now, with the positive battery cable, these are your options. You can replace the entire battery cable. You can go to your O'Reilly's or whatever you have in AutoZones or wherever you have and get a longer battery cable. This is a 6-gauge battery cable. You do need to keep it at a 6-gauge battery cable. If you do not, you could have excessive voltage drop or excessive amp draw, so you do want to keep that 6-gauge. We actually had some at the J&M Farm hardware store, so we found the connectors. I'm going to tell you what we did. If you're going to replace the battery cable and your cart is configured like ours, we'll take you around back here. If you have this seat, all of this seat assembly will have to come back off to gain access to the rear plastic panel, so you can gain access to the controller. That is the only way to get to the other side of that positive battery cable. So that was a lot of extra work for us. We chose not to do that. Instead, what we did, we simply spliced the 6-gauge battery cable right here, and they sell these professional grade splice connectors at your AutoZones or Napa's or somewhere like that. You can find them. And we spliced the battery cable. We double shrink wrapped it. We extended the battery cable and put a new lug. We extended it about 18 inches. Again, that saved us all the work of having to disassemble the back, disassemble the plastics, only to gain the access to that one bolt. This shouldn't cause you any trouble, hasn't caused us any trouble. Again, we're not telling you how to do it. We're just showing you how we did it. We looked for the most cost-effective and fast route that we could do it, and this worked great for us. So that was really the only thing we ran into on this install that was a little bit different. If we knew about the battery cable initially, we could have had all of this installed, I would say, in less than 2 hours. It really went very, very well, very, very quickly. So as long as you're able to do this and splice this, this is absolutely the only challenge that you might have in lengthening that battery cable. Otherwise, it fits right in. Again, we've had this on the farm now for about a week. You can see I'm giving a good wrench, and these this battery is held down very, very well. Hasn't moved just not at all. It's held down really, really secure. We'll go ahead and do a week update. We had old batteries, and yes, they were depleted, and yes, they were old. They were the lead acids. We were frustrated. We were only being able to get back and forth to the barn a couple times. Several times we had to tow it back with the tractor. But we've had this installed for about, well, I guess it's going on a week and a half now. And we have only charged it up one time. We are literally getting 5 days of our normal use out of it, and not 5, actually 6 days, and we only got it down to 20% on the first cycle. We did recharge it at that point, but we are literally, it's living up to the hype. It's working very, very well for us. Again, I hope this helped. If you have any questions on this Yamaha Drive 2 battery install, feel free to message me, comment. Again, very, very simple. We also, if you haven't seen it already, have the remote display video to this. That's a separate part for putting in that display. I'm not sure how they'll all link together. Again, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just trying to help. But that also went very, very well. Very, very simple. Overall, very easy project to do. I feel like anybody could do this. Hope this helped. If it did help, give us a like, give us a follow, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.